Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will learn about the basics of for loop in the PowerShell, and along with the for loop we will learn about the break statement and the continue statement in the for loop as well. So let's start. So first of all, let me write down that what we will learn today. So we will learn about the syntax of for loop. Then we will learn about for loop with break statement, and then the last thing which we will learn about is for loop with continue statement. Okay, so these are the three topics which we will cover today, and we will cover the basic syntax of these things, how we can utilize them, and then based on your need we can apply this syntax and do the needful whatever we want to do in our program. So start with the for loop. So as we know that a loop means that we want to iterate something, whatever we want to traverse. For example, if you want to traverse or iterate between 1 to 10, A to Z, or any path you have in which you want to track the contents of that, whatever the folders are available, whatever the files are available in that particular path, you want to track one by one uh, the contents of that particular file in it. So in any scenario where you want to iterate uh, under some conditions, so you can use the for loop. So the syntax of for loop is that we have to type for, and then in this braces we have to type three uh, conditions. You can not exactly the condition word, but three parameters in this for loop, and what they are is that here we can define one variable. Let's say I'll define let's say this variable, test variable, which will be the value of this test variable. I'm passing it as 1. So it is like I have created a new variable and I have initialized this variable with the value 1. Okay, then semicolon. So that means my first parameter is covered. Now the second thing is that we want to add one condition, something like that until when I want to iterate, right? So I need to provide something so that loop, the for loop will basically understand that till when it has to run or it has to iterate. So for example, here I can pass here test, and then if you have not watched my previous video of the PowerShell, you can watch, so where we have learned about these switches, about like we can type and, or we can type less than equals to, less less than great less than equal to, less than, like this one lt, or greater than, something like that. Okay, so for example what I can type here is that less than 10. So this will be my second, you can say, as a parameter of the for loop, in which what I'm passing here is that I want that the test variable should start from 1 and it should go until it reaches 10. So I'm telling the PowerShell that this variable will definitely reach to the value 10. Okay, so that means I have to do some increment as well to this variable. So how to increment this thing? In this third parameter, what I can do is that test plus plus, which means test equals to test plus 1. So whatever be the value initially, it will increment every time by 1. So for example, this is here I am passing test variable as 1. Then it will check this condition that whether the 10 is equals to 10 or not. Then basically it will go check this and increment the value of test variable by 1. Okay, then I have to add these braces, and in that I can run my logic. right? Whatever the logic I want to write for this loop, which I want to iterate 10 times or 20 times based on whatever scenario you have. So you can write your logic inside of these braces and it will work out accordingly. Right now I have just typed the variable, which means that if I run this, so you can see that I'm getting this value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it runs 10 times and it print the value of my test variable, which I can use for my any scenario which I want to. Right? So this is the basic syntax of the for loop. Let's learn the for loop along with the break statement. Okay, so sometimes we come across a situation where uh, although we want to run the complete loop, but under certain scenario, I don't want to continue with my loop and I want to break my code and I don't want my code to run further. Right, so how to add this break into my running loop, let's see that. So for example, I've copied the existing code only, and here inside the braces of the for loop I can add one condition, like, and if you remember last time we have learned about if else if statements in the PowerShell. So I'm adding one condition here with the if, that in case, let's say my value is equals to 5, right, then what I want is this break, right? So let's run this and you can see that it prints 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Why? Because first of all it initializes it with the 1, it checks that condition is there, then it comes inside the if condition and says that test is right now not 5, so it prints the value of test as 1. Then it goes on for the same until 4, and afterwards when it increments to the 5, and then it checks that if condition has written is that if the test is equal to 5, then it should break, which means that furthermore the loop will not run, and whatever logic you have written inside the for loop, it will not run as well, right? So this is the use case of the breaks, that uh, if you don't want to continue with the logic or with your code which you want to uh, based on the any given scenario, then you can always break your loop by using this break keyword, right? So this is the second scenario which I wanted to share in the today's video. Let's learn the last scenario. uh, Again here I'll do one thing, that I copy paste, let me copy paste this break statement code because it is somewhere similar only, right? So here this is my for loop. Inside my for loop I have added the if statement, and now rather than break I want to continue. Okay, so continue means that I want to continue with my loop, but inside my loop, like while my loop is running, while my loop is iterating through the values, if I want to uh, skip something, right, I want to skip something, but I want to run my loop along with it, right? Like for example with break, if I meet some condition, then simply code stops running. But here with the continue, I don't want to stop my loop to be keep on running until it finalize with the complete condition, but I want to, along with that I want to skip some values, that I don't want to entertain certain scenario. So how to do that? Like we have to just add the continue, and then for example here right now it is written that if the test is equal to 5, you can continue. So let's see if I run this, whether what value it gives to us. Okay, so you can see the values which we are getting is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm not getting 5 here, which means that when the variable have this value 1, then it check that if condition is not meeting, then it prints. Same for 2, same for 3, same for 4. But when the value is 5, then this if condition passed. Then continue, which means this will not run, but continue will run. Continue will take the cursor back to the loop and increment the value by 6, and then it does not meet, and then that's why this test is runs, and I'm getting the output as 6, right? So continue helps you with that you want to keep running your loop, but along with that you want to skip certain conditions as well, right? So condition could be any. So for example, let's say you just want to print odd values, right? So I can do something like there's an operator called percentage, right? Test equals to 0, which means like percentage operator is basically returns the remainder. So for example, when it divides the variable value by 2, and if it is 0, then it skips. So we know that when the number is 2, when the number is even, like 2, then 2 divided by 2, there will be no remainder, then it will skip. If the value is 4, then 4 divided by 2 is again there will be no remainder as 0, and that's how it will keep on continue, and it will print me only the odd numbers. So if I run this, so you can see here that I'm getting only the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, like this. Okay, so that's how you can see clearly the distinction between the break and the continue. That break will not allow you to keep your loop running, but the continue allows you to keep your loop running. Along with, you can skip certain conditions as well, right? Certain scenarios as well. So this is the use case of break, continue, along with the basic for syntax. So that's all which I wanted to share in today's video. I hope you understand the basics of the loop, for loop in total, and uh, now you can utilize this basic syntax to learn more complicated scenarios, along with the whatever code, whatever logic you want to run in your write in your program. So that's all in the today's video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please hit the like button, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.